You ever walk into your own house, the one you worked your whole damn life to build, and suddenly realize you don't even recognize the way your kid is crying? That's the kind of moment that'll freeze a man like a deer in headlights, yeah. That happened to me. And looking back, I should have known right then that everything was about to change whether I liked it or not. The keys were still jingling in my hand when I stepped through that big glass door, thinking I'd surprise Maya with her favorite vanilla ice cream, the one with the rainbow sprinkles, because God knows I hadn't done much fathering these past 2 years since her mother died. Just a lot of working, building, throwing money at the pain so I wouldn't have to feel it. But that night, I didn't hear cartoons or the usual off-key singing from the kitchen, just this muffled sobbing like someone was trying hard not to make a sound. And let me tell you, nothing in the world gets your heart beating in your throat like that. I tiptoed past the marble entry, what a joke, all that marble, and saw her, my little Maya, standing at the sink, wrestling with a mop way too big for her, looking so small it made my chest ache. Her face was streaked with dirt and dried tears, knees poking through ripped jeans, shirt stretched tight over her skinny shoulders, and the thing that really knocked the air out of me, those angry red marks running up and down her arm, some fresh, some fading, all wrong. One eye was puffy, like she'd taken a hit. My voice came out ragged, Maya, and she jumped like she'd been caught stealing, spun around, eyes wild, whispering, Daddy, like she was about to be punished for getting caught. I dropped to my knees, every muscle shaking, gently pulled her arm forward while she tried to hide it behind her back. Voice barely a squeak. I was too slow mopping. I asked, Who? And she just looked at the floor and whispered, Miss Vanessa. Now let me tell you, nothing cuts deeper than realizing you missed the one threat that mattered, right under your own roof. Maya mumbled that Vanessa said she'd mess everything up, that if she wasn't perfect, she'd be sent away, like her mother was. I could barely breathe, hugging Maya so tight I thought I might break her, swearing nobody was sending her anywhere, not ever. Right then, footsteps echoed down the hallway, calm, almost rehearsed, and Vanessa stepped into the kitchen holding a laundry basket, her face the same as ever, cool, polite, that little half-smile she always wore. She saw me and Maya, blinked once, and just said, Oh, you're home early, like nothing at all was out of place. I stood up slow, keeping Maya in my arms, voice low but shaking. What did you do to my daughter? She rolled her eyes, told me kids need discipline, said Maya broke glasses and that she was just doing what I paid her for. I don't care if she broke the chandelier, I said. You don't lay hands on my kid. Her face hardened, voice snapping. Maybe if you'd been around more instead of running off to boardrooms, you wouldn't need people like me. That stung hell. Maybe she wasn't wrong, but in that moment, none of it mattered except getting her out. I told her to pack her things before I called the police. She scoffed, said she'd worked for dozens of families, that I'd ruin her reputation over a few swats. But she saw in my eyes I wasn't bluffing, not anymore. She left without another word. And for the first time, the silence in that house felt heavy, like all the air had been sucked out. Maya sobbing quietly into my chest, and all my money and power couldn't fix a damn thing. That night, I didn't sleep, just sat at the edge of Maya's bed, holding her tiny hand, watching her bruises, realizing I'd trusted too easily, looked away too long, thinking money could protect us from everything. Next morning, while Maya ate her breakfast in silence, her little shoulders hunched under a blanket, I called my lawyer, then a private investigator, not one of those corporate background guys, but an ex-child services pro who knew what to look for. Within 48 hours, a thick file landed on my desk, and let me tell you, I've closed some ugly deals in my life, but nothing ever made me sick like that stack of paper. Vanessa, real name Vanessa Griggs, had skipped around the country. Changed her name after a case in Colorado got dismissed, something about excessive control and emotional harm. 3 kids pulled from school after showing signs of trauma. 1 family divorced and disappeared. No charges stuck, nobody dug deeper. She just kept moving, kept getting hired, kept finding new victims. And I, a man who prided himself on reading every contract, catching every loophole, I'd let her right into my home. Police moved quick after that. Vanessa was arrested within hours, child endangerment and abuse, multiple families contacted, One mother even flew in from Atlanta to testify. The story hit the local news, trusted nanny's dark past revealed, but I didn't care about headlines. I cared about fixing the damage, about giving Maya back something I'd stolen without even realizing it, her safety. The weeks crawled by, slow and deliberate. I canceled deals, shut out the world, started making Maya's breakfast myself, pancakes, cereal, the works. She didn't talk much at first, just drew these heartbreaking little stick figures, some crying, some standing alone. Play therapy, endless appointments, just trying to listen, to show up, to prove I wasn't leaving again. One night, while she brushed her teeth, she asked, "Daddy, will she come back?" And it almost broke me, but I told her no, never, not while I was breathing. She looked up at me, honest as only a child can be. "You were gone a lot." All I could do was promise, quietly, that I was here now for good, no matter what. She nodded, leaned into my chest, and that was enough for that moment, anyway. When sentencing came 2 months later, I sat in court, Maya's hand in mine, watching Vanessa sit there stone-faced, no friends, no family, no second chances. The judge gave her 3 years, plus probation and therapy. She didn't say a word, but she didn't have to. For once, Maya's voice was louder than any of hers had ever been. That weekend, I took Maya to the park her mom used to love, watched her run in the sun, her laugh finally free again, her little afro bouncing, yellow sundress bright as a lemon in the morning light. I sat on the bench, hands loose on my knees, just watching, really seeing her like she was the center of everything that mattered because she climbed into my lap, all warm and small, and whispered, "You won't leave again, right?" I kissed her head, told her, "Never again, kiddo. I thought I was giving you everything, but none of it meant a thing if you weren't safe." She smiled, and for the first time in years, I finally felt like a father and not a provider, not some absent CEO, but someone who belonged right there, protecting what mattered most. I used to think building an empire made me strong, but all it took was a child's cry, for help the kind you can only hear when you finally start listening, to show me what real strength is. Now I look at her, and I know I'll never let my guard down again. So what about you? What does justice look like when it comes to family, to trust, to doing what's right even when the world looks the other way? Drop your thoughts below. Was I right? Was I wrong? Would you have done the same or something different? Let's talk about it, because these are the stories that don't end when the credits roll. Stay kind, stay sharp, and let's keep this conversation going.